What is going on, people? Today we're going to be going over the rally party that we did earlier today. But before that, the sponsor for the video is BlueStacks. Now, if you don't know what BlueStacks is, essentially it's something that you can run on your computer that emulates an Android phone. And from there, you can play games like Lords Mobile directly from your computer instead of your phone. And it comes with a lot of extra perks, one of which is letting you play multiple accounts at the same time. If you have an alt, a bank, etc., you can have them all going at the same time without you having to switch accounts or anything like that. Whether you have 2, 3, 6, 7, you can have them all open as long as your computer can handle it. Another nice perk is that you can actually start using macros, and essentially what that does is if you go to Tycoon, if you go to the Labyrinth, etc., instead of having to click forever and ever and ever, you can just make a macro and it'll keep doing it for you until you want it to stop. So it makes those type of things so much easier. Another thing is that if you're going to be using something else to save on your purchases, but let's say you only have like an iPhone, etc., and you don't have an Android phone, then you can just go ahead and use this on your computer and it'll emulate an Android, and you can just do that through this. And then just continue to play regularly on your iPhones. There's so many possibilities that you can do with BlueStacks, and if you haven't already downloaded it, the link is going to be down in the description and in the comment section. And to top it all off, this also is going to include a promo code that if it's your first time using BlueStacks, you can use for your account, and it includes a little bit of everything: speed ups, brave hearts, chests to open, boost, etc. So just another great reason as to why you want to go ahead and check this out. And trust me when I tell you that playing with an emulator is one of the best things to do. It's one of the things that I use for my recordings and things like that, because yeah, Lords Mobile is great because it's mobile and you can take it anywhere, but I'm home most of the time. So I just play Lords Mobile through the computer, and it's just so much easier. So if you haven't tried it, like I said, down in the description is going to be the link, and in the comments, download it, give it a try, and see if you like it. But yeah, let's get back to the video. So we set up a rally party earlier today. I think we had somewhere around 8 or 10 rallies, but instead of trying to find like offline targets or something like that, what we actually ended up doing was we tried to bait into Fury, and then from there see if we can get 2 waves on an unsuspecting victim. So we did get this person in Fury, and everyone said KN Gomu Lupi. Now I don't really know what kind of language or anything that is, but from GJN. So we got them into Fury. They were reinforcing somebody else that we were fake rallying, and yeah, they basically set themselves up. So of course, when it comes to rally parties, generally speaking, what you want to do is you want to have at least 2 or 3 infantry and cav rallies, depending on the size of the rally party, of course, and then maybe 1 or 2 range. The reason that you probably just want less range is because the probability of somebody trying to take a rally party in a cav formation is pretty low. They're generally going to be inf or range, so that's why you'd probably want to go inf and cav more. For me, I was going infantry, you know, it's kind of like a crapshoot when it comes to rally parties if you get a good hit or not. Their gear wasn't the best, so I was feeling okay. But of course, I'm usually the first one I'm one of the first ones there. But the hit was actually not bad, of 5.7, meaning that I killed what, like 3.5? That's not terrible, maybe a little bit higher. So not too bad. Now they did start at 1.5 billion plus. So we're trying to see how much this first wave is going to do, and look at that, they're already down to 1.28 billion. That is not looking good for them, and another huge hit. And remember, they are in Fury, so they're gonna have to take another one. And since we had a pardon ready, I don't think many people used their bunnies, because we were just gonna use the pardon anyway. So the plan was, since they're gonna have our leaders, we're gonna always know where they're gonna be, so we can just go ahead and set once again. And one thing that you can do by taking a look at this is just seeing which hits were the biggest, and then kind of formulating the plan of attack. So as you can tell there, Cav actually did pretty good. So that means that they probably took it in front, meaning that they're probably not going to have much infantry left. So if you set range, you're probably going to do really well. Now, we actually did set a rally, but it was after everybody else. So we were kind of like, okay, even if they don't start with some sort of like something that puts infantry in front or something, by the time we hit, the range hit should probably be okay. At least that was the working theory. And here comes the hits, and there's the burn. Here comes my leader back in the little pamper. I don't know why the leaders look how they look. I mean, they just look like big heads. But there goes a burn. Oh my goodness. And there's another big hit. Remember, they started at 1.5 billion, actually higher than that, and they're already at 950 million might, just because they were being a good teammate and reinforcing somebody else that was being rallied. I'll tell you what, nowadays, man, like, if you get your front line countered, it's gonna hurt no matter what. It's just rough roll, this counter research and all of that stuff. Oh boy. There was another rally right there, and that one was a big one. Look at that, already zeroed. So that one was 0, so we moved on to this next one. Now this one, Shy Ranger, we've actually rallied him a couple of times already. It feels like we rally him every other day, but generally when we rally him, it's like 1 rally at a time or 2 rallies or something, and he's always countered them. So we figured, okay, he's probably going to be on, because it's one of those that sits there and just waits for you to do something. They don't actually play the game, they just sit there waiting to take rallies. So we figured, okay, well, we'll go ahead and give you some fun. I mean, why not? There weren't really that many other targets anyway, so why not? Let's see how we can do. So again, I was going infantry, and the thing about having really good carpets is that you're probably one of the first ones to get there, and probably one of the first ones to get countered. So as you're gonna see here, my hit wasn't really the greatest. I mean, what did it, like 30 million might, which is not much. But you see our rallies hitting there. I think he's gonna drop right below a billion, and he is healing in between the rallies. So I think he's probably full infirms, because he just sat there healing and healing and healing. Unfortunately, our rallies weren't like very synchronized. They were kind of like one at a time and one at a time, which you know, kind of blows a bit. But we still did really decent damage considering. And now that he's gonna drop under 900 million might, I think he ended up at like 880 million might. We knew that if we set another round, yeah, 887. If we set another round of rallies, he wasn't gonna take it. So we went ahead and used the pardon. I actually had Bunny ready to go the whole time, but there was never really an instance where we actually used Bunny, because we just had the pardon and the last one actually burned. So there were the hits. There were some couple of noodle ones like myself, but again, I was the first one there, so it's kind of like that's probably the first one they saw and the first one that they tried to counter. But everybody else kind of had decent hits. So I don't know if he was maybe switching formations in between or anything, but most of the hits were actually pretty good, so not too bad. We don't really lose much, and they have to rebuild what, like 250 million might, so that's not great. Even if it was all T2, 250 million might of T2 is so much clicking. Like, that alone, like I'd rather not. But after this, we really just couldn't find many targets, because the kingdom pretty much emptied out. But it's what you can come to expect after Baron, right? Like, either before or after Baron, you have a lot of people migrating and whatnot. So it's the nature of the beast, nation of all the migrations. And oh my god, look at all that healing that I gotta do. Oof. Again, I'm gonna mention it again, CAE is recruiting as well as LOF, so check our board. This is the best week to try and recruit, because there's not really like big events or anything going on right now. So if you're looking for a new guild, hit us up, check our board, see if you meet the requirements, and apply. Have a good one, guys. Peace.